So today I want to find out if the NGT made my car faster or slower. I did want to point out that there's no check engine lights and there are no codes with the NGT. The only thing I did notice on startup is it seems like it hesitates to start now. Maybe the pressure was doing something to help it start. I've read some things that it does affect the ability to start the engine. So just another thing to point out. It does feel like it stalls out between 5,000 and 6,000 RPMs. It might be due to now with there's less resistance right behind the turbo. Maybe the turbo reaches its full spin speed earlier and begins to I guess electronically cut through the ECU. Just from a little bit I understand about how turbos work, it'll prevent overspool. So maybe that's what's happening. But maybe with the new mid-pipe it'll do better with a bigger turbo, because the bigger turbo will be more efficient, and well, that headroom will help it do what it needs to do without overcompensating. So that's my initial review. I'll post the times on the screen before and after, just so you can get an idea. So after looking at the numbers and factoring in the colder, denser air, because it's about 60 degrees right now compared to the previous run, it does make it a little bit slower with the stock turbo. And I think it's because something's happening in the upper RPMs, because I did get a faster run, like almost 30 seconds, 0.3 seconds faster run when I ran it in smart mode by accident. So I'll put that on the screen just so you can kind of see. Maybe it's with the shift points. So maybe if it's tuned, it'll fix that. And if they can tune the shift points to shift at 5,000 instead of 6,000, maybe that will help. But that's all I have for you. Okay, so I did want to talk about basically the runs and why I think that we're losing speed. So here's the second run I did, and so the orange is the throttle, the blue is the wastegate duty cycle, the aqua is the pedal, and then you get the boost, which is like this yellowish line that's coming up here. And then I also turn on the fuel pressure just to kind of see what's going on there. And then what the DME or the computer's doing, the ECU, to make sure there's no things that it's going crazy about. So I think this is what it's showing what it is. It's like it's normal to see the wastegate duty cycle pop open right at the beginning of a run or a beginning of a gear shift. And so we see that here as the throttle's coming up and the speed and the RPM, everything's coming up right around 5,000. You watch the wastegate duty cycle, when it gets closer to 6, it starts popping up all the way to 92, and the boost comes all the way down to 8 right here. So what I think that's an indicator of is the spool it's happening faster within the turbo. And it's happening so fast in first gear that it cuts it basically off to almost to zero, to prevent overspool, is my thought, as the wastegate duty cycle is opening all the way up. And then from there, comes down, starts building up again, and it doesn't peak as much in third gear, if you will. So it's mainly first and second gear, it's popping pretty strong at the beginning and a shifting of each of these. And so that's what I think is happening. And if I look at my first run, it's similar, but not as crazy. So it pops up to 82 instead of 92, and then pulls back down, and then back up to only 79 or 78. So it's not hitting as hard on this first run that I did last weekend. With the one I did this weekend, everything hits harder. Again, this one I did last weekend was like a 7.9 or something, and the one this weekend was a 7.8. I was just trying to see if there was something crazy I did or something wrong, but you can kind of see what's happening here. And of course, the wastegate duty cycles is not as what do you call it? Not as straight up and down. It isn't. It's not as vertically aligned as it is here. Sharp. Look how sharp these are. So something's happening and making them super sharp. And I think it's just spinning up the turbo pretty quickly. And then I pulled this up. This is just comparing how it was running on my Map 3 third gear pull. So we have the wastegate duty cycle as I'm rolling in the 30s, and then I go to floor it. It opens up the wastegate duty cycle, then cramps back down as I'm building boost and doing my run, doing my pull. And so you see this spike, so that's right at the beginning, and then it goes back down and it stays pretty constant. And then when I shift into fourth gear, that closes down and then goes back to rest again. But again, this is once I've taken my foot off the brake, or sorry, off the pedal, and the system's just going into a reset. So yeah, that's what I think was happening. Drop in the comments if you think it's something else, but that's I just wanted to kind of show you this to help you understand the mystery.